It's not uncommon for people to stay in a relationship well past its expiration date. And there are several reasons that this occurs. I'm going to share some of the more common ones with you today. Perhaps the one that I see the most frequently is people staying in a relationship because they're afraid of being alone. This is very common in people that have been married for decades. They're so used to having somebody by their sides, they simply cannot imagine moving through life on their own. You also see it in people that have an anxious attachment style. They tend to grasp onto anybody, and the thought of not having that person causes a panic, quite frankly. And once that fight or flight mechanism is activated, the thought of leaving, even if it's not good, is challenging. Oftentimes this fear kind of comes with, staying with the devil, people may recognize that the relationship isn't good, that it's not meeting their needs, but at the same point, it's a negative that they understand. And the thought of being alone is a fear that they cannot fathom. And so they choose to stay, even though it's not ideal. Another reason that people choose to stay in a relationship that perhaps should be ended is for the sake of the family. You see this the most in parents who don't want to see their children endure the pain and the transition of a divorce. And so they stay married, even if they don't want to, even if the relationship is in fact dead, simply so that the kids can grow up with an intact home. Sometimes it's for more extended family or for friends. They don't want to cause that disruption. And, there are times that this works out. It's a personal choice, personal decision. Nobody can make that for you. I also caution you, though, to oversimplify it. Even if you think that you're doing the right thing for your kids see a lot. They're often more aware than we realize. And so if you're staying in a poor marriage, one that is devoid of love or filled with anger or frustration, the kids see that. So be very careful that is the best choice for your situation. Other people stay in relationships because of religious or cultural beliefs. Maybe it's an arranged marriage, or maybe in your culture, divorce isn't an option. And so you feel like you have to stay because from the earliest memories, this is what you told was to be expected, and that you had to grin and bear it. This can be a difficult situation, both from the inside and for those from the outside looking in, because you have to struggle, of being true to your beliefs and also attempting to be true to yourself. Other times people stay in a relationship past its expiration date because they like the rest of their life. Maybe they don't like their partner, but they like the lifestyle that they have with their partner. Now, sometimes, of course, this is money related. You definitely see this when you have a lower earning partner choosing to stay with the breadwinner because they enjoy living the high life. But that's not always what it comes down to. Sometimes it's as simple as you enjoy the friend group. Maybe you travel well together. There can be times that you enjoy other parts of it, even if the relationship itself isn't what you wanted. Another very common reason that people stay in relationships is habit. Once you're there, it's a whole lot harder to get out than it is to simply keep doing what you're doing. And it's scary sometimes, at least to me, when I realize, how often I can have several days go by where I'm operating more out of habit than out of conscious awareness. And that definitely can happen with relationships. You keep doing what you're doing because it's what you've been doing, good old inertia there. Another reason that people stay in a relationship is because they don't believe that they can do any better. And that's a sad one, especially when they're with a partner that is abusive or manipulative or just downright mean. Sometimes when our self-esteem is low, we find people that verify those beliefs that we have of ourselves. And so unfortunately, sometimes that means that we end up staying with people because we believe that they reflect who we are, when the reality is often, no, we do deserve better. And then one last reason that people stay in relationships is, that belief in a life script. I need to be married by 28, I should have children by 32, or whatever your particular numbers are. It's really common that we tell ourselves these stories, and if we feel like we're getting behind, we get somewhat anxious. And so sometimes we accept the person because they happen to be there at the right time, not necessarily because they are the right person. So all of this is to say that deciding if a relationship is worth it, if it's a good one for you, if it's right for you, that's your choice. It's your decision. Nobody else can ever make that choice for you. All I ask is that you have awareness, that you're not moving through life on autopilot, that you really take the time to think about, is this the right relationship for me? Am I really staying because I want to stay, or am I simply staying because I'm afraid to leave?